So when it comes to extending RAM, the first thing I should say here that I actually totally forgot to bring up in the previous video is that the first thing you should probably prioritize is paying very close attention to the process of the dream breaking down as you're beginning to wake up out of it, which will generally look like a loss in visual fidelity or clarity and sharpness, right? But if you pay attention past that, it even breaks down into something called hypnopompia, which is basically like hypnagogia, but on the opposite end as you're waking up out of a dream. And anytime you're waking up out of a dream, it will break down into that, even if it might be, a very short-lived experience. If you want a decent explanation about what the transition of that would look like is when you're in the dream regular style, right? It's like first person, basically like waking life perspective. But when it breaks down into hypnopompia, it actually switches to like more of a separation. Like you lose the first person version of it, and it's almost more like you're watching it on a TV screen versus you being in it. And the important thing to point out there is anytime along that path, you're still very well within the realm of being able to rebuild the dream back up, get back into full-on REM, and push it out longer. The other thing to point out there too is you can actually go well past it. You could full-on wake up. Something I do a lot is anytime I wake up out of the dream, I always like to check the clock, see what time it is, gauge shit like that. But even you could like get up and go to the bathroom and shit and come back and sometimes continue the dream like that as well. And that can kind of be like a double-edged sword. So that's something that I was just naturally inclined to, my whole life. And that might sound good. And it is kind of good when it comes to extending RAM and trying to re-enter a dream lucidly and stuff like that. But it is also kind of a bad thing because the nights when you're having like really fucked up dreams and you're just trying to, get out of them. So you'll wake up out of the dream, stay awake for a little while, go pee, do something in bed, look at your phone and shit. But then you go back to sleep and the same dream continues. So that's like the shitty side of it. But the good side of it is if you're naturally inclined to do that, you're probably more naturally inclined to re-enter dreams lucidly and keep them going. At least that's my hypothesis and shit. But anyway, so we'll get into the more specifics next.